Hi, I'm Katie McGee. Welcome. We are live in Denver at the broadcast studio here at GBTA Convention 2025. It's my pleasure to introduce you to Pauline Houston, Head of Global Sales for Onyx CenterSource. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
It is a pleasure to have you. How is Onyx CenterSource helping to modernize commission payments in the travel and hospitality industries?
So at Onyx, we work through our technology platforms to streamline and to simplify what can be quite a manually heavy task, and to bring in best practices. And we share that amongst both our agency and our hotel community partners, and so that it becomes less of a painful exercise and more of a painless transaction. And we are the interface between both the agency and the hotels. We transact about 2.1 billion in commission revenue per year from over 160 countries. And so our global reach in terms of the partners we work with from a hotel point of view and the agencies that we work with gives us the best range of being able to support everybody across the industry and globally across multiple time zones.
Very nice. What makes Onyx CenterSource uniquely positioned to serve both the hospitality and travel and event agencies on both sides of the market?
We're very well located in terms of where we have our support teams. We cover all the time zones, multilingual teams, but our biggest, I would say, opportunity to help people is our technology. So we have electronic payment systems, all of our data feeds, and then we have our client portal that allows our clients in real time to see where their payments are, where in the process they are, when they should expect their payments. And that's really key. And today, that visibility is paramount to understanding, particularly for cash flow. It also means that we can support our clients where they just don't have the workforce to be able to sit and take the time out to do it. And we act as an extension of their company, but we're a good ally on both sides, and we act as that intermediate that sometimes can be dispute resolution or sometimes can be the smooth transaction process that follows with it.
Wearing many hats then,
We do. And we like to think of ourselves as that almost mediator. And where you have good transaction movement and payment, it will help increase the relationship between the two parties and takes away the friction. Sometimes that exists when payments are not forthcoming or debt starts to increase and it starts to really impact their relationship. And we like to think that we support the removal of that friction.
What trends are you seeing across your global data network, and how is Onyx helping clients stay ahead? We talked a little bit about this before we started.
It's quite interesting, and I won't say post-pandemic anymore because I think we just need to put that away in a locker. I would say in the last few years, what we're seeing is much shorter time windows in terms of booking. And so that has a knock-on impact because normally that run-up of business on the books would allow people to know roughly what their forecasts are, what their commission forecast is. That's disappearing. And so with the short lead-in times, geopolitical influences are meaning that people are a little less likely to commit to doing something much further out than they would have in the past. And so they're waiting very late in the day, and then they're starting to make their bookings. That reduces the whole cycle, because then, from booking to stay to data feed to reconciliation to payment has gone from that to that. And there's also a lot of pressure on companies now in terms of improving cash flow, and where historically they would have been happy to wait 6, 9, even 12 months for commissions. Those days are gone. So it's almost an immediate impact of wanting payment for a stay that's completed. And that's where we help them with the the electronic systems that we have to match stay to data and then to ultimately payment. So that's another that we're seeing in terms of that pressure for cash flow. The other that we're seeing is the companies want to know exactly the visibility on where their bookings are in this process, why something hasn't been paid. They want to use the data that we afford them to be able to have meaningful reviews with their suppliers or with their agency partners. And so the data that we provide them is really key in terms of that relationship strengthening. We have our division Onyx Insights, which is analytical data and observations on behaviour patterns and best practices and how to optimise your commission programme. So that there's real interest in that level of analytical data and how by moving the dial by 1 percentage point can have such a significant impact to the overall cash flow. So that's something that's really come to light over the last few years. And then the other piece is around meetings and events. The real resurgence around meetings and events that has allowed companies now maybe not to come back to the 3,000-4,000 delegates that they used to, but more regularity of smaller groups. And we're seeing that. But with that and that resurgence comes the pain point of then collecting the commission from multiple suppliers. It won't just be a hotel, it could be a production company, ground transportation, DMCs. And so we now have a product called Group Pay, which helps them go through that pain process and consolidates all of their payments and takes that burden away from them and helps them get their cash flow up and running much quicker. Events is a much more complex minefield in terms of the earnings that agencies make from it, and historically has always been something that's been kept separate in a commission file, but now with the systems that we have, it's possible to offer a very similar service to groups and events as we do to transient business.
That's wonderful. Wonderful insight too. Thank you so much, Pauline, for stopping by.
Welcome.
What a pleasure to meet you.
And you too.
Thank you. And thank you for joining us. I'm Katie McGee. We are in Denver at the broadcast studio at GBTA Convention 2025. Thank you for watching.